for the people who can't hop on. Okay, so again, if I've told y'all this, or I told you this, not, I didn't lead yesterday, Jacob did, but if y'all have not gotten this book, it's Fire, Winning the War in Your Mind. So do yourself a service and get it. But today's topic, so this is actually something that I've been like, honestly, I feel like for the past just few years, it's always something that I hate the word struggling, so I'm trying to take that out of my vocabulary, but something that I've been working on. And so maybe it can go hand in hand with y'all. But the Bible study that I chose today, it says, while we wait, embrace and discover. And so it's basically about the waiting period in your life. And so it says in the book, Oh, the Places You'll Go, Dr. Seuss talks about the waiting place. It's a place for people just waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or waiting around for a yes or a no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting. Then it says, waiting, waiting, waiting. What happens when it's just you waiting? Somehow you'll escape all the waiting and stay and wait. Somehow you'll escape all that waiting and staying. But what happens when it is you, when you aren't where you used to be, but not yet where you want to be, and you find yourself in a waiting place? You may have heard it said, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But what happens when the journey has you stalled? There is always a process between a promise from God and the fulfillment of that promise. Sometimes this process is short, and other times it's so long that you may wonder if you heard God correctly in the first place. It can be easy to get frustrated, angry, and restless in that in between time. It can be easy to be discontent, to grumble, and to complain, and to be so obsessed with what's next that you can't actually enjoy what's going on right now. But the waiting place doesn't have to be depressing and empty, filled with longing for what's next. It can be a wonderful place of growth and cultivation for you. If it makes you feel any better, even Jesus had a waiting place. Think about that. The Son of God was a carpenter until he performed his first miracle at the age of 30. That's a long time to wait. If he had to walk through the process, and how much more do we? The good news is that the waiting place brings an opportunity, not necessarily to change your circumstances, but to allow yourself to be changed through the process. Psalms 27:13-14 shows you that you can be strong and take courage as you wait to the Lord, knowing that you will see his promises come to pass in your life. Even when you aren't where you want to be, you can still embrace the place where you are, and you can discover all the beautiful things to be found in the waiting. So right now I'm listening to, so I finished one of the books that I was listening to. I'm actually going back to re-listen to it again just because it's that good. And now I'm listening to another book on audio, but I'm also reading the book Winning the War in Your Mind. So I have about 3 different books on me right now, and it just depends how I feel for the day, because we all know that, like, some people are like, don't do that. You need to focus on one book. For me personally, I don't always feel the same way every single day. Sometimes I'm really good with money mindset. The next I'm really struggling or going through something where I just don't trust God in the moment, or whatever it might be. And so if that's you, it's totally okay to switch around from book to book. Right now I'm doing 3. And so something that I personally felt like I've been waiting on is for God just to give me the go ahead to say, like, hey, let's break through this. Let's get through this barrier. You can go to the next level. And I've been in this waiting season, and in the waiting season, in the book that I was reading yesterday, it was telling me, like, the best way to go forward in your life is to just be abundant in your gratitude list. And so I told y'all this a couple of days ago, but Cami really challenged me to write 1,000 gratitudes out. I've yet to do that. I've gotten to like 40, and that was like the most I've ever done in one sitting before. And so today, after we get off, I'm going to focus more on that, because I felt like I kind of woke up with my mindset was like, eh. And so it says the best way that you can move forward in your life is to focus on the gratitudes now. And so I really want to challenge you, if you feel like you're not in where you want to be right now, that's the first place that I want you to go and do, is to personally write down the gratitudes until you can't think of them. And I don't want you to repeat them. So it can't be like, oh, I love this. I'm so thankful for this house. I'm so thankful for shelter. No, that's kind of the same thing. Don't write that, and just get your mind rolling, because the best thing that you can do is just be grateful for where you're at in this season. And I'm also listening to a book right now. It's all about money, but it's also about like the captivity that money holds you to, and how you feel like you are personally being owned or trained, or you're personally being cultivated by money, where it should be the other way around. Like, you should control money. And so often, like, we aren't grateful for where we're at, so it feels like where we're headed or where we want to go, it's just taking miles and miles long to get there. And I feel like Morgan shared Zoom the other day, and I actually shared it in here on the prayer Zoom, I think Monday, of the one where it says trust your season and just basically live in the moment of your season that you're in and be able to be appreciative of the season you're in. And so it says in the word right here, it just constantly reminds you, like, if you're not where you want to be, that's okay. You can always push and strive for more, but the best thing that you can do is just enjoy the waiting period. Maybe it's not that he's going to fix your financial situation right then and there. Like for me personally, I have a specific goal in what I want financially, and right now in this moment today, is that going to happen? No. In the near future, maybe 3 months from now, can it happen? Absolutely. And so I have to just be okay with the waiting period and see, okay, God, reveal to me what exactly you want me to see. And then here are some questions that I actually want you to ask yourself. And it's all about the gratitude. So like, instead of our minds instantly going to what's wrong or what's not happening for you, or, in this moment where you're like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to get out of the season? Because sometimes it can take longer and sometimes you snap out of it pretty quickly. How many times have you went through like a rut and you unexpectedly got out of it a lot sooner, or the other way around when you're like, okay, I felt like I was never going to get out. My depression last month lasted 3 months. Okay. I was in like a little rut at the beginning of this year and it lasted like 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, praise Jesus, it did not last longer. So this can be to any of y'all, but this is in Craig Rochell's book, and it says evaluating what's right. And so this can be like journaling prompts for you, or this can kind of be something that you just kind of think about. And it says, what circumstance or relationship in your life right now do you need to stop looking at and instead look through to see what God is doing for you? And then it says another one, it says, in what circumstances or relationship in your life right now do you need to look at what's right instead of seeing only what's wrong? That's going to take you back to the gratitude list. Gratitude's focused on solely what is going right, okay? And that's why I need you so heavily to focus on gratitudes, especially in a season where you're not where you want to be in, because best way to be grateful is obviously notice the things that are going right in your life. And then it says, in what circumstances or relationship in your life right now have you dropped your guard and know you need to raise both hands to God, both surrendering to him and fully anticipating the victory. So a lot of us like to speak things into existence and just act like it's already happened. And so that's great. And so what I personally want you to do is just claim the victory that you're going to see through this season. And I don't know what everybody is personally going through, but I talk to a lot of people daily in this business. And it seems like a lot of people are kind of on the same train in this season of their life, where maybe they're not where they want to be, or they thought they'd be a lot further now. For me personally, I thought we were going to go presidential and my volume dropped like another like 6,000. I was like, oh, I did not expect that. So in this season where I thought I was going to be further along than I am, I'm just trusting God with the waiting period. And I'm trusting God in knowing that he has something better for me than what I had planned for myself this month. And sometimes it's really hard. And this morning it's a little bit harder. And so that's why I'm going to spend time writing out a full thing of gratitude, which I actually ran out of all my pages in the journal. So now I have to use white paper until I go to Walmart today and get a new journal. But just make do with what you have. And I promise you that that's going to bring you back to a location of like, okay, God, I trust where you're at. And so something else that, let me see if it's on this page that I was just on. It says to pray and ask God to reveal anything he wants you to see and understand and how you think in this season of life. And so that's personally what I want you to do, especially if you are going through a season that you don't quite understand. That's a really great way, is just to personally ask God, like specifically, hey, can you reveal through your eyes, like what you want me to see? And I've told y'all time and time again, like we did the other day when Jacob told us his testimony, when I prayed specifically over for God to just give him one word. And then Morgan sent him a text message like immediately after that, like that changed his day around. It's just crazy how those things happen. And I promise you, he's never going to fill a void. So ask him for specific guidance, you guys. I'm telling y'all, every single time I ask him for a specific word, I literally just journaled out before this. I was like, can you just give me a clear sign on like this specific situation that I'm going in the right direction? Dallas and I are moving. He's starting his own business. I'm moving into a new location to where, I feel like the atmosphere will be better for me, so I don't like crawl back in depression and things like that. And so I'm excited for that, but also it's scary to do things new. You're afraid of failure, you're afraid of this. And so you have all these fears coming into your mind. And the best way to combat that is just being grateful for the moment. And so that's what I've really had to work heavily on. And then it says right here, where's it at? It says, but what happens when it is you in the waiting period, when you aren't where you used to be and not yet where you want to be, and you find yourself in a waiting place? You may have heard it said, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. But what happens when the journey, when that happens, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. But what happens when the journey has you stalled? There's always a process between promise from God and the fulfillment of that promise. So maybe you're so focused on the destination. I've talked about this before, but maybe you're so focused on this goal that you have in mind that you're plowing through all the blessings that are coming in between. And so yesterday, what I did is I made a list, and it's titled Things I've Gotten Blessed With by Manifesting More Money, or manifesting whatever it is that you want in your life. And so I talked about the book, the one that I'm reading now. It has a cuss word in it, so I'm not going to like post it on here, but it basically tells you to write out all the things that you're receiving in your life. And so that's what I did finally yesterday. And I wrote down for the past week the things that have come into my life. And right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 things new that I've noticed come into my life. And so I want you to start today to notice the little things that come into your life. And I'm telling y'all, it does not have to be money related. It can be something as small as someone gave you a compliment today. Okay, write that down. And as soon as you start focusing on the small little tiny bits of things that come into your life, it's going to allow you to be able to be more lucky and be more lucky. I don't like saying the word lucky, but it's like, it's going to allow you to be more fulfilled. It's going to allow you to see the little tiny blessings that come into your life. And we all know that God blesses you with, before he blesses you with a lot, he has to see that you are going to be able to like withstand and withhold the things that he blesses you with little. And that allows you to see the grateful things that are coming into your life. And so I've challenged myself to do this. So I'm not going to tell you how to do something that I don't personally do. And I've already got 7 things down. 7 things down since Friday, you guys. Okay. So almost a full week. That's a blessing a day. Almost a blessing a day. So can you imagine if you write that down for a full month and you look back and you have 30 new blessings on your phone or your notes or whatever you might do, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is what's happening. I didn't even notice this because I was so consumed in the negativity. And so that's what I did, just to remind me and take me back to the ground place of how grateful I am and how many things truly do flow into my life. But sometimes I don't see it because negativity really just takes a toll on me. And I told myself last week, I was like, I'm so tired of this negative living. Like, I'm so tired of my mind waking up and going to negative thoughts. Like it should not own me like it does. And so I finally took a stance, and that's why I bought all these books. And that's why I'm like really taking action. So instead of working 6 hours straight on my phone, I might do 3 hours, and then 3 hours of reading and diving deep into that and doing the things that I love, because both are important. And so I really want to challenge you to do that. I really feel strongly that I'm going to receive another blessing today. And honestly, these are just money related. These aren't even like the things that come into my life of like, got a compliment. Someone asked me a question that really transformed my life, or, someone tagged me in something that really made my heart smile. Like, actually, someone did tag me in something yesterday that I was like, that is so nice. So write those down, and it's going to see that you are more aware of those, and it's going to just transition your thoughts into thinking, okay, I really am abundant. I'm just thinking of all the negative things because I'm not writing these things down. And I promise you, when you start writing those down, you're going to be like, holy freaking crap, and start manifesting that into your life, that you're going to receive that, and start just asking God to really see your vision through his vision. And start journaling, and then get this book on top of that. Start reading your Bible every day. Like I've told y'all, it's a huge transformation from just going from devotionals to the Bible. Even though I don't understand that half the time, it still fulfills me more than just like reading a devotional and being done for the day. It's like connection with God. And so I really challenge you to do that. And if y'all have any questions at all, like on anything as far as like the Bible, I'm still learning, so I'm not perfect with that. Not perfect with knowing the stories in the Bible or anything like that. But if you need help, please let me know. And then I started the prayer request chat too, so make sure that you're added to that, so you can constantly go in there and feel like at peace to be able to ask for prayer requests. And then just know that I'm here to help, but also know that like everything that you want is it's in your reach. Okay. You just have to realize how close you actually are to it by writing down all the things that you truly are blessed for. So basically today is about gratitude, but just being grateful for the season that you're in right now, and just noticing the little things that God's transforming in you. Maybe you gained some knowledge yesterday on something that you never thought you would have overcome. I truly believe that I've overcome some of my money mindset issues last week, and that was a huge transformation to me. Did my money change overnight? Actually, some of it did, and then some of it didn't. And so I'm not where I want to be, but guess what? I'm constantly growing towards the next step of where I want to be, and just grateful for this season. So hopefully that helps. And hopefully that kind of allows you to be like, just more aware of the things that are going on in your life instead of just bypassing in your constant negative state of mind, just thinking like, oh, I'm not lucky, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not abundant, because we all are. We all have the same 24 hours. We all have the ability to earn the blessings and receive the blessings. It's just a matter of like the people who actually get what they want. And you see the people who are millionaires, or maybe people who have the family that they want. Maybe it's just because they're more aware of what they're abundant of. And so just think about that. So I'm going to stop this